What's up, everybody? This is your boy DJ R. Cole.
And I am the queen, and this is Boss Talk.
Today we have very, 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 very special guests with us today.
Mm,
I am honored and privileged to have you guys on the show with us.
yeah.
Um, especially, yeah. So let me just go ahead and introduce you guys. I have my man Terrell and also my man Mad, who are from Venice Beach. Um, Not too long ago, I asked you guys to please go and watch this documentary called
hmm
Roller Dreams.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a phenomenal movie. It is, I mean, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you
Mm,
angry.
hmm
It is all
hmm
the ingredients of, for me, a perfect documentary.
Yeah.
And it was true. It was
Raw.
hardcore. It was raw. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely loved it. So I greatly appreciate you guys for doing this. As I mentioned, especially Mr. Mad. I'm just gonna call you Mr. Mags. I don't want to call you Mad, so I'm gonna call you Mr. Mad because, like I said, I don't want you angry at me at all. So
It's very
so first and foremost, we always like to start off by asking you guys how long have you been skating? Um, I know with Mad you kind of drifted off a little bit, but still, I'm still going to ask the question: how long have you guys been skating? We'll start with Terrell first.
well. You can take one of them berries off. Mag gets about five very. I'm gonna get about two or three very. But I started back in '79. My pops would take me up to the beach, and he could play basketball, and I wasn't big enough yet to play. So then, right, and when we first started, the skating area was by the basketball courts
Mm-hmm.
in Venice. And so he was like, "Well, you can go over there, and keep your little ass over there. Don't go nowhere else." And in the '70s, you could do that.
Yeah.
And then once I kept going a few times, Mad and them took me under their wing. They recognized me. I
Mm-hmm.
think Tammy tried to get me in trouble with Mad. And that's how we met. I got in Tammy's way. Tammy was a real good skater too.
Mm-hmm.
So she started having kids. But but
Okay, wait a minute. What does kids have to do with skating?
because she was one of the best skaters there, and once she started having kids, she quit skating.
Oh,
Okay.
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 Uh,
Okay.
she was the bomb. Tammy
Wow.
Okay.
was she was way better than me back in them days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
But
Wow.
but yeah, and so she was like, "I'm gonna tell Mad." I'm like, "What's tell Mad? Who the hell is Mad?" I met Mad, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
Oh.
Right.
my bad."
All right. So for you, Mr. Mad, when did you start?
back in '63
Okay.
when you had steel skates, Union Fives,
Mm-hmm.
clamped to your feet. Then you had the Rosecrans, the Arlington, and the Hollywood skating rink with the indoor roller derby with the wooden wheels. But in
Oh.
1970, at the ass end of 1979, is when I ran across some tennis shoe skates,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought them. They were like $49, and I would basically skate up and down Hollywood Boulevard. Kind of gave it a little idea. Then decided to get a radio and roller skating didn't mix because it was all balance, and
Mm-hmm.
I just had. I'm the type of person that always gives something some thought to make
Mm-hmm.
it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And skating up and down the boulevard, working in other side of Van Nuys and Arleta, yeah, I was pretty frustrated person,
Mm-hmm.
and the way things was going back in those years, it wasn't nothing nice to be born into something that
Mm-hmm.
you're always trying to figure out why, but
Right.
nobody would ever answer that. So
Mm-hmm.
took the roller skating. I wound up in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know nothing about that beach
Mm-hmm.
until that day showed up. And when I did get out there, I met one person with two other people sitting there at the skate area. And for some reason, I just found a way to go out there. As soon as I left work, that's where I went.
Yeah. So was it already like
Yeah.
a designated skate area, or was that?
No, it was a desert beach.
Uh,
Venice was
Okay.
like, it was basically, it had what you call uh, front row apartments right up front, and then people started moving out. So they just started, basically, it was like One place was the Sidewalk Cafe, one apartment was next to it, and the rest was all parking lots, all the way down to Muscle Beach.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
That was it. Was the name of it was basically Ghost Town was in the back of Venice, but I didn't know anything about no Ghost Town. So
Yeah.
when I did, finally everybody kept talking about Ghost Town, Ghost Town, Ghost Town. I ain't got no what the hell is Ghost Town? And I found out. And so at the end of 79, 1980, decided to just go to the beach, and it was freelance out there. So
Yeah.
didn't know nothing. Toe stops, this, the whole 9 yards. Nobody was out there but one person. And we just basically started messing around using little transistor radios you listen back to baseball with.
Yeah.
But they had them big thing, had them little AM stations. FM was just coming out real good, but you know, bothered with that. They talk too much. So basically what we did was everybody put their radio down and we started just messing around with each other. Man, what was that? I know. And we try that. And we try this, try this, try this. So it kind of picked up from there. And all of a sudden, at the beginning of January of 1980, and this thing here just grew out of nowhere.
Yeah.
People that didn't know anything about skating, they just went, got them, and didn't know what to do. It was just the thought of being out there. Some people kind of went a little bit far as the outfits and stuff went on. And I was like, you know something? I was in Levi's sweatshirt and a hat. I don't care if it was 500 degrees. That's what I wore every day.
He ain't lying.
Or the t-shirt and all that other old stuff. I say, Levi's 501s and my roller skates, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's why he was mad, because he was hot.
And I never sweat. I would never sweat. Everybody would have towels and stuff, and not me. I just went out there and I just did what I wanted to do until this guy showed up, pulling on my shirt. He was too little to hit, and he wouldn't leave me alone. He kept telling me, "You're gonna teach me how to skate." And I'm like, "Larry, who's this?"
Wow. Well, you know what? One thing I can say is thank you, because at that point in time, what you guys started is kind of like you created a place that is on almost every skater's bucket list.
It's a historical.
Yeah, it's historical. You know, my first time coming there and only time coming there was actually, it was about a year and a half ago. And as a matter of fact, Terrell, I met you there, and you probably don't remember, but I had on some Bones wheels, and I was worried about my bones being on that concrete. You said, "No, you're good, you're good, you're good." I said, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, because he ain't had no money to get no more, so he wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I got 2 pairs of wheels. They either gonna work or they ain't gonna work.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, you know, what you guys started was something that is like going down in history throughout skating, you know. And I remember seeing the documentary, and when they first showed you, I was like, "Oh, this dude's swole. Hold on, let me go look in the mirror and check myself real quick. Hold on, let me see." I was like, "Wow!" But you had some skill. I was like, "Holy cow!" But what's funny is that a lot of the moves that you guys were doing back then are the same moves that they're doing now. You know, so you know, you guys were actually setting trends back then, and you were just skating.
Yeah, how did you come up with those moves? It was just messing around and you just decided to come up with these and you give them a name and keep it moving?
Dad was always watching cartoons.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was.
And Matt would be, when I would come to Matt's house, when I got a little older, old enough to drive, 15, 16, 17, I get to Matt's house. He got 2 turntables and a mixer, headphones on, and some cartoons playing, either Dinobots, Transformers, what was that? The Universe, Masters of the Universe, all of them. And the songs would be matching with what he's DJing. I'm like, this dude is DJing the cartoon. And then the next thing I know, he like, I got this new move. And we out there doing the move.
So that cartoon inspired.
Yes.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing.
But most of it, my moves came from trying not to fall.
Mhm.
because
Okay.
a lot of people out there watching, and I ain't trying to embarrass myself. So if I'm about to fall, that's gonna be a new move. I'm breakdancing.
Right.
Somehow, some way, I'm gonna get out of it. And every once in a while, you about to bust your ass, and then you go, "Wait a minute, that was a cool move.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
let me see if I can do it on purpose."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Now, when you guys were back there and you had everybody together, they kind of dubbed you, Matt, as their leader.
Yeah.
So did you feel a sense of responsibility to make sure that everybody stayed on the right path, everybody was staying in their lane and not causing any issues, no troubles? I saw a couple times in the documentary
Mhm.
where they would say, "Hey, something's going on," and
Yeah.
you would go over there, and everybody would kind of scatter like roaches. So,
Yeah, it got to the point where being out there and these transistor radios was an issue to me because every song we would get, you get about 30 seconds, then we trying to find another one, then another one.
Mhm.
So when I went home, I had a thought. And once I get a thought, I don't care what comes in. God, Moses, and the three kings to show up, and they ain't gonna distract me. So I decided to make my first box. They didn't even have them out then.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And when I brought it to the beach, I wasn't really sure. To me, it just didn't feel right. So I took it back again, and then I worked on it some more. And then when I brought it out, a lot of people I had met because I really didn't do it for them. I did it because of what the situation was out there. I didn't like it. So I decided to take this box that was categorized into what you call perfect settings, and
mm,
everybody wanted to know what was inside. It played 11 to 11.
mm,
They
Okay.
got to the point where Venice never closed.
Mhm.
mm, mm,
I mean, you was out there in the morning and people lost their job, lost their family, lost their.
mhm,
Matter of fact, they gave up their life just
Mhm.
to. People would be out there still sleep on the grass when I got there.
mm.
Like,
Wow.
man, this is serious. I never
Wow.
give it any thought that it was like a devastating thing that you actually witness.
Mhm.
People would give up everything just to have some type of fun.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like that
Yeah.
for, man, for years.
Wow.
And nobody never smoked, nobody never drank. And if they did wanted to go get something to eat, they did. They came back, they sit down, and their song came on. The burger got sit on the grass, and they went out there. Then they came back and finished the burger. By the time they get back to the burger, the other song come on, and they're like, "Hey, I gotta go." So this how bad this thing was. But it was
Yeah.
pretty funny to me. I
Mm,
would just stand back and just look, and then, as far as I would go into a corner and I would kind of start thinking, working on some things, and just look at it and do it again, and then do it again, put on a certain song, and then Terrell, come in, check this out. What? I
Mhm.
need you to do this. And I
mm,
would transfer to Terrell, to Larry, then Jimmy came out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
mm,
And all these people started popping up, which was pretty nerve wracking to me
mm,
because I didn't want to be bothered.
mm,
Mhm.
And then Terrell had to be the mediator of, well, if he speak to you, you good. If he don't say nothing. If he do it 3 days later, you in the car. If not, you better find somewhere to go.
Okay.
Wow.
With the
I was
box, were
just like that. I was basically, I mean, the name, it started off as M-A-M-R period M-A-D, black letters. I had on a trench coat. I had on parachute pants, which was, like I say, it's about 90 degrees.
Mhm.
And I'm dressed like, it's snowman time. And people were looking at me like, what's wrong with him? You go ask him. I'm not going to look at him. He don't. I never did smile.
Mm.
Nope.
I was straight to the point. If your kids was ugly, don't ask me.
oh Lord. So when you made the
Uh,
box, you recorded the music or how did
I recorded the music
okay.
and I made the box. And no matter where I took that box from Hollywood, Universal Studio, Long Beach, people followed.
Mm,
If they didn't
Okay.
have a car, they would still want to get there.
mm, mm.
You couldn't find a set of roller skates basically anywhere. If you didn't have them
Wow.
from the store or the skate shop, people just opened up selling stuff out of their trunks.
Oh wow.
This is
Wow.
how it was.
Wow.
And on the weekend, we never did have police out there in January and February and March. And all of a sudden, when they did show up, that's when, in other words, too many darkies in one spot. You can't have that. And
Yeah.
Venice was the type of beach was different from Santa Monica, Marina Del Rey, because it was a co-ed situation. It was very mixed. But they didn't want it like that. And they figured if they target this area, they'll get the job done, but it didn't work. So each time you would look at the documentary, you would see a different box. It's because the police took it, and I went with it.
Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
And so when I got out, I just made another one until the system said, look, whatever you guys doing, don't arrest this guy no more for this. This is not humanized. So basically the police had to figure out something else to do. We'll just impound the box. And then when it came down to him, I would say, Terrell, you're in charge of the box.
He sat in the back of the police car so many times because I'm hard-headed. So they say, hey, young man, you need to turn this down. So I turn it down. By the time they get about half a football field away, I done hit the button, got it back on, we dancing. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in the back of the car handcuffed. Like, oh, man.
So Terrell, being
I wasn't mad, though, so they didn't take me to jail. They would just sit me in the car.
Okay.
He was too young. He was too young, but I was old enough. Basically, they just figured they wanted to make a point. And a lot of the police got to know me out there, and they would tell all the other ones, because they would like switch up every 2 years. And the street cops would come to the beach, and you out there would get your trunks on, laying on the beach, and they would ask you for some ID. Like, are you kidding? This is the only place where they were serious. Or you out there suntanning, and they asking you for ID.
Wow.
So, and they just kind of like went around the area, drove through the area, and basically just did. I said, the police officers, but I would never back down.
Yeah.
They came over there. I was on there because anytime any brawl that popped up, I went straight over there and took care of it just like that. I didn't care because, like I say, Ghost Town used to come to the beach and find somebody they wanted to maul or jump and abuse and show that we got power. I didn't care nothing about that. And Tammy and them was from that area.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah, they was definitely in the middle because I found out Ghost Town was actually Shoreline Crips. And Tammy lived right in that mix. So by Tammy coming over there and she telling me, well, we live in Ghost Town, that's Shoreline over there. I said, as long as your fellas don't come over here messing up my parade, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Anybody that basically want to disturb what I'm doing, I'm not going to ask you about it. I'm going to do something about it.
Wow.
And everybody kind of like looked at that. So when people come up to me talking about, hey, man, I remember him, dude. This you have changed a lot. Well, I had to go with the times. That's all I had to go with the times because back in the day, only person really could talk to me was Terrell Fartham. I don't care how good of a skater they was, where they came from. I had an issue with that. And what issue, what it was, I have no idea. I just, in other words, you had to earn the respect. I wasn't gonna give it to you.
Yeah. So Terrell, being his right hand man, was that stressful?
You know what's funny? My mama used to wonder why my clothes were so dirty because me and Matt would wrestle all day long. Four things at the beach. It was either gonna be some women around. It was gonna, of course, be some skating. He was gonna be wrestling with me. He was gonna be playing chess. It was gonna be one of those four things. If he wasn't doing one of those four things, you talk about somebody frowning. So I didn't have no stress. I knew he was gonna beat me up, but nobody else gonna touch me. That was like having the biggest of all big brothers.
Yeah. I was about to say, you guys.
Unlike Tammy, though, I wasn't going around going, "I'm a tail man. I'm a tail man."
Yeah. Wow.
Tammy was really hard on that. She took advantage of the big brother thing, and if anybody didn't know, they really found out. They really found out exactly where Tammy stood, because Tammy was the first female out there to learn how to do the alpha and everything else. Because she was very young. And like I said, when Terrell said she had kids, then she kind of like faded away from the area. Because she wasn't going to bring all them crumb snatchers with her.
Not the crumb snatchers.
I ain't got no love for some situation like that.
Right.
And I probably thought it was going to happen between her and another guy named Ronald, but it never did. They became partners.
Really, Ronald?
Terrell was more like freelance.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy, I don't know how Jimmy Rich popped up out there, but he saw it, and next thing you know, he came back, and people would buy anything that had wheels on it.
Mm.
Wow.
They didn't know nothing about the 297, the Rodale Royal, the Snyder, the Bones. Like I said, you had Bones wheels to sit there, and I heard you say Bones. I went, man, where back is he going? I said, when the first set of bone wheels came out, it was like 62, 43. Then I got the white ones, the hundreds. I would go out there and put them on the ground. And if anybody wanted to know anything about skates, I started investigating on it and went from that little vinyl thing where if it got too hot, the boot came off the sole on your plate.
Wow.
To the Rydell boot, which was an indoor skate for the professional skaters. And then everybody else, basically, Terrell would never get them. He had to go get some fancy suede, this.
Well, you know.
I don't know where he found those boots at, but everything had to be totally different. He stayed in some brown ones for the longest.
I was young. They had to match with my outfits at the time.
Oh my goodness. That's right, because you had to make sure the ladies saw you.
Yeah, y'all know how it is when you break into a new pair of skates. Your toes be hurting for a month. So I'm like, I'm out here 3-4 times a week. Ain't no way my toes gonna be hurting 12, 15 times before my skates work. But you go on with the suede and they break easier. You rip out of them in a year, but they comfortable from day one. You can jump in them bad boys with a big pair of socks, you good to go. I still wear suede and I still bust out of them in about a year.
Now you guys did a lot of skating on the beach. Did you guys ever go to the rinks or anything like that? Or yeah.
Look
on his face.
They had skate rinks popping up everywhere. So when I did show up, and they was like, take a look, and they, is that who we think it is? Want me to find out? Hey, you skate to Venice? I'll just look at them. A lot of them would go, yeah, that's him. That's him. And I would get in free. And then I would basically look at the rink. If the ceiling was too high or the floor wasn't right, I knew right then and there this was a waste of time because it ain't going to sound right and the floor ain't going to let you do what you needed to do. So they had but one skating rink that was Reseda skate rink where you had almost on Thursday night, you had almost 800 people in this.
Wow.
I'm talking about over capacity, but it wasn't no such thing as fill it up and then the fire department come in. We need 5 people in now. This place was packed. And then it got to the point where the police officers picked up on all these black people coming from over here to in Reseda, which when back then was a no-no. They would basically set up boot around the corner and you had trouble getting into the skate rink and you had trouble leaving the skate rink. We couldn't even stop at a 7-Eleven on the way home after 2 o'clock. Because the roller skate was from 8 to 2 in the morning.
Wow.
And that was a regular session?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was
everybody couldn't wait to get in there.
Bad made me fail calculus. Because the rink is closed at 2, but then Matt and him say, hey, we going over to Norm's to get some food or Denny's to get some food. And we got kicked out of every Norm's, Denny's, every restaurant from Reseda to Van Nuys, we got kicked out.
Wow.
Like, who are people coming in at 2:30 in the morning making all this noise? And if you don't get Matt's food right,
we saw a clip of that, but this was like years later. So I was like, "Ooh, they got his food wrong."
You better get Matt's food right. Get his food right.
I was straight to the point. I'm paying for it. Don't give me your service. Give me my service.
Yeah. Wow.
I would order coffee just to see if you're gonna come back and fill it up. I make the mistake of filling up my cup when it's coffee then turn white and it's sitting there. I just look at them. You take this shit back. I ain't gonna find no nice.
I wasn't really into rinks. I went to Flippers a couple times. That was the good rink. But then it became like Cher and Madonna and all of them kind of people.
So a celebrity
drinking and roller skating didn't mix like drinking and driving, man. You barely can skate, but you gonna have a drink.
Yeah.
Untalented is not a good combination.
I bet y'all done seen some stuff, boy. I bet y'all
seen a lot. But it was too many Crips. I grew up 2 minutes from World on Wheels, but I won a contest there and had to call my daddy to pick me up.
Oh, wow.
It was only $100 contest too, and them fools was like, "Yeah, cuz,
So
I heard you got that contest." I'm like, "Man, Pop's coming to get my ass. Bring your heat." Like I'll scrap, but I ain't going 5-on-1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I never did have to deal with that in Venice or anywhere else because basically I didn't give them a chance to basically set up shop. So if you're going to confront somebody, you don't go over there and hey man, what's going on? You go over there with lick first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go straight to the leader, down him. Anybody got anything else to do about this? That's the way it was. So when it happened at Venice, to keep the police from coming over, looking at everybody as a potential suspect, I would go straight in there, right in the middle of it, and take care of business and go back to skating like ain't nothing happened. Man, I ain't thinking about this. I don't want to keep them guys coming over here.
Yeah.
Because if they see one person doing it, the whole beach. In other words, you can't basically sit there and separate these black people from these black people, all of them.
Yeah.
And they would come up on the beach in their cars. People would be out there picnicking and carrying on. Some stuff that went wrong. They didn't call the whole police station to come out there thinking it's going to be a riot. And it never was. Kids were getting, jeopardized by getting run over by the police. Didn't really care. They just basically came up on the sand and then on the grass looking for a problem that wasn't there. What happened, man? See that big dude right there? He took out the whole thing. What did he do? He went in there and he broke it up. What was the problem? They were doing something and he just went over there and they wanted to interview me like I started.
Right.
I was the leader. They say, no, I'm going to jail.
Wow. So how many times have you been arrested?
Like in from 1980 to about till 95.
Wow.
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
So you had your whole sale.
Because when they came over to the roller skating area, I stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Because I had on all this, like, in other words, you look at homeless people now, how they overdress, and it's the beach. And I stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Well, she was on that motorcycle half the time, so sometimes we even got riding leathers on. So we on the beach, got on a full leather outfit.
In the middle of summer. So I guess it's needless to say, when you left for the day, I know you sweated out clothes like over and over. Did you bring a change of clothes or you just roll with what you had?
Did I change clothes?
Yeah.
My outfit was one set in the whole. People didn't believe it. It was black. If I put on anything other than that, it was like I walked right by them. They didn't even know who I was. They were so used to seeing one shade of color.
To this day, I ain't never seen your ass in a suit.
Nope. But I do wear one. Work requires that I wear a suit, and then I feel really like I got to stand out in the middle of the freeway because I don't want to get dirty.
I'm going to have to sneak by your job one day just to verify that.
So you need to verify? I
have to verify that.
So now,
anytime I put clothes on, I would never hug a female because if I did, and right then there, that day was messed up for her. Makeup got on my clothes. It was like
she thought that all that swollenness, huh?
Man.
On the documentary, there were some scenes of y'all and some others skating around with their shirt off and everything like that, and you had one group of people who had the hairy man bare chest just out and they're skating. And the hair on their chest is blowing in the wind, And then here comes you, I was just like, okay, you know what? This making me feel real bad right now, And then Terrell always seemed like you like wearing like the muscle shirts and stuff like that. So
he had to impress.
When I started though, I was little. So when I graduated from high school, I was 5'6", 135. So I graduated early, even though Mad made me fail calculus. I still graduated early. College. I'm 17 in college. And so 17, 18, all of a sudden I'm 5'10", then I'm 6 foot, then I'm 180, then I'm 190. And then I got this body. That's why when Mad would be fighting, I'm like, wait, hold up. I ain't big enough to be doing all this just yet. I was like, wait a minute. In my pocket before I start. but yeah, I wasn't putting on my shirt back in them days just yet. I had what they call a bird chest back
Mhm.
in them days. Little bird chest. I was skinny as I don't know what
Yeah.
and tiny.
Wow.
Me myself, like I said, I was lifting weights and stuff back then. But as far as walking out there, I would go to Muscle Beach, and I just kept everything on. And then when I finally decided to they came out with this outfit on the beach with one size fit all. It was these blue pants, red pants, yellow pants, painter pants, and so I decided to basically just take everything off and just relax. Put on a hat, put on a t-shirt, and a pair of these one size fit all. I guess you call them genie pants
Oh,
with my roller skates on. And next thing you know, when I came out there, everybody just didn't say nothing. They just looked. Everybody just looked.
I'm sure some dudes was
And
like, "Nah,
Larry
I'm
would
gonna
say
go."
to me, my buddy Larry would say to me, "Man, why you fucking with everybody? Dude, they not used to seeing you. Look, you coming out there all swollen like you ready to beat somebody. Then you don't smile and you scaring everybody. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I ain't got time to worry about what everybody's scared of. They scared they shouldn't come out.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Right.
beach. This is all about having fun. I'm not going to smile and crack my face. But nobody come away. You put more wrinkles. I don't like put wrinkles on is when you do something to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't smoke and I don't drink, and I ain't gonna sit here and basically make somebody feel comfortable. You want to come out here, this is free. That's why I never did put a bucket down because
Yeah.
I feel like I can quit when I want to. Somebody paying
Yeah.
you got to keep going, and
Yeah.
you ain't got time for that. You guys go ahead. I mean, could you teach me how to skate? No, that's me. You know, see, you ain't got nothing else to do. Well, they would send everybody to me, and I would just stand there. I heard what they said, but I acted just like I didn't. I was like, I ain't got time to be. You know anything about skating? I look at they skate and go, never mind. That was my judgment right there. I look at your skates, and I would just go to myself, never mind.
Yeah. Wow.
I ain't got time. You don't know nothing. And then you're walking like you on nails and tacks and eggshells. You want me to teach you how to skate? Some people, when I did decide to do it, I had to get down on my hands and knees and put their feet where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
So, you serious? I say, this person needs help. I say, no, it's like this here. Are you one of those that's going to be serious or you going to get on my nerves? What do you mean? You want to come back?
I did both. I was serious and
got on his nerves.
And everybody would ask me, is that your brother? First it started off with the brother thing, then
Okay.
became dad.
Oh.
The older I got, he became my son. And I just didn't answer nobody. That's one thing I didn't do. I didn't answer. Whatever they said, everybody would tell a story. I'm standing right there. I don't remember this. But they telling the story. I let them have the thrill of the victory of telling the event of what they saw. Because everybody saw something they could write a book on.
Yeah.
So when I see people that, man, in 1980, this dude right here, you had to be there to see it. Man, what happened? I say, look, I'm not getting into that. I say, look, I don't want to go back that far because it's a hell of a situation. You had to be there to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, when I made the box, I made another one, and then, like I said, it was a party of 24/7. And that box didn't let you down. It played all day. And everybody wanted to know what was in it for a half hour all that time.
So what was in it?
Yeah, look, he's not telling.
It's a
So everybody got around to the point where, can you make me one? Can you make me one? Really? Make you a box. Yeah. So, all right, what kind of box you want? Something just like that. So you can't get that. Well, I'm close to that. I said, well, I'll tell you what, when I get an idea, I'll make it. And then I told her, I said, look, are you sure you want this? Because it sounds good and it's really a good motivation, but are you really going to come out here? Got my own stuff. I'm going to show up. That's really, you're going to do that. Where you live at? Well, I live over here upstairs. So everybody wanted a box and not looking at the circumstances of really owning something like that.
Yeah.
So when I made it, they had to find out exactly what I went through every day of bringing it out there. And the bigger it got, the better the sound came. The bigger I started using subwoofers instead of 6x9s and 3x6s and tweeters. I just basically went and got some subs, made a separate box, separated everything, spread it all out. And the roller skating area was like the zone of, if you're going to dance, don't do it on the sidewalk. This was our biggest problem. Everybody wanted to dance. But the music was like funk, and it was loud, and you didn't have no electricity, and how could this radio put out this much sound? Police was more like, it's amplified music and it's not allowed on the beach. Literally. Beach. Amplified. So that became nightmare number one. We started on the boardwalk. They moved us back. It was an oil refinery over there where all the trucks used to come in on this one little slab of concrete. And that's where basically everybody really started. The name of the slab of concrete, which they don't really say anymore, or a lot of people didn't know, was called Disco Alley.
Disco Alley.
Disco Alley.
That was the name of it. It was called Disco Alley. And then as we went down the road, all of a sudden just came up with an idea, the line dance. It wasn't called the line dance back then. It was just basically the line.
Okay.
And then I would grab Terrell, come up with some ideas, show him, oh man, I like that. Then you go back to doing his Michael Jackson stuff or his Prince stuff. He had that hands in the air like this here. He was gone. I said, man, that dude is on it. He's got energy for days. Terrell never did sit down.
Nah.
He did not sit down.
That was partially your fault though, because what would happen was this. So Dad would tell me, hey, you see that girl over there? Go get her number for me. I'm gonna go get her number. So now the next thing I know, I meet a girl. Sure, I'm gonna go get a number for me then.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, 3 girls show up. One on this side, one on that side, and one in the middle. If I sit down, they gonna all come. They gonna all come. So I'm gonna stay right here in the middle skating. Pretend I didn't see you.
Keep it moving.
Till I can't go no more.
Wow.
That's how you get them 2 a.m. cramps.
Hey. So how did it come about that the director of the documentary, how did she approach you, gentlemen? And then what was your thought about putting your story out there, and being so vulnerable and raw about this whole it was just like the
transformation.
Moon, the moon was going around the sun. How did that come about?
It didn't start off. So I had been in 8 Wheels and some Soul Brother music, because whenever they do a skate documentary, they're going to come to Venice. So I've done a couple. So I'm thinking, this lady comes up to me, cute girl, Australian, nice, all full of energy and peppy. Yes. And she was like, my friend Wendy said that you're the one to talk to about skating. Okay, what about? Well, I just want a little history of Venice. All right, well, I just do it for fun, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking it's going to be like a puff piece. I didn't really think she was going to get in depth. But I was like, who you really need to talk to Mad, talk to Jimmy, talk to D. There was some names I gave her.
Right.
So I started talking to other people, and it kept saying, talk to Mad. So they might say 5 names, but always one name would be the same.
Right.
And so I did the same thing. Oh yeah, talk to Duval, but you got to talk to Mad. And so when she got Mad on board, Mad gave her the history of Venice. Even me, I was a kid, so I was there to skate, and I saw the girls, and you see things, but you don't know really what's going on with life at the time.
Right. Yeah.
Dad was living life at the time, so he could give a better perspective of the story around the story. And so when she went to Mad, she came back to because she'd already done all our interviews. She came back to all of us like, nah, I guess it was better than what she thought it could be.
Right.
So she came back to all of us and made us redo our interview. Not made us, asked us to redo our interviews. And so Mad gave her the whole history of Venice, history of LA, going back to the Watts riots, all of that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What I thought was just a little puff piece about skating became this whole like Venice/LA history lesson. And that was what made it dope. I'm in Australia by myself. None of the skaters there. I'm representing the film, for the skater side. She's there and the producer's there. And I'd never seen it. So I'm sitting there watching it. And next thing I know, my ass is crying. I'm like, oh, hell. I'm by myself in a country I ain't never been crying. I'm like, no, this is some. So then a week, 2 weeks later, we have the premiere in LA, the LA Film Festival. So now the whole crew is there. And I'm sitting there, I already, I've seen it now, so I kind of know what's up. And I'm sitting in the audience, and I keep hearing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But she took it way deeper than I expected her to take it. And that's what, to me, made it, that made me really happy. I mean, it would have been cool if she'd been, skating, in the cop, that would have been girls, bikinis. Yeah, that would have been cool. But she took it even like 2 or 3 layers below that. Yeah. And that to me made me proud.
Yeah. I was definitely impressed.
Definitely.
When I first started watching it, I wasn't quite sure what to expect.
Yeah. Or where it was going.
Yeah. And I mean, it was, like I said, it was a very raw, emotional. I mean, you'll go through all of the emotions. I even felt the anger of when they tore up the original area and forced you guys away. And I even felt disappointed when my man Matt stepped away. I was like, whoa, wow, So during that period of time, what was it like for you, Terrell, to actually experience and see that?
Well, it was different for me because here's the thing: Matt was big brother, protector, teacher, father figure, all of that. So I'm looking at it like, well, I'm touring. At this point, I'm going to Switzerland and Germany and Japan and China. I'm like, if Matt ain't gonna be there, I'm not gonna bust my ass to get back. I'll come when I come. But a lot of the times I was there. Even some days you don't feel like skating, but I'm like, well, Matt's gonna be there. I fuck around with Matt. Wrestle with, watch him and Gino play chess. Just it's the vibe too. It's the skating is the love, but the community and the vibe is the other part of it. And so I think that's what other people feel too. That I don't know. I'm not a big ring guy, but I don't know if you get the same community. Like when I go to rinks, it feels cliquish sometimes. Like, okay, this clique is cool with each other.
Yeah.
This clique is cool with each other. Our whole thing was everybody was everybody. Like that's. So I'm like, well, if Matt ain't gonna come, and I just did 5 weeks of skating in Switzerland, Monday through Saturday. Why am I gonna bust my ass to get back to Venice if Matt ain't there?
Yeah.
So when he was on, I was still coming, but the area changed. Matt wasn't there. Like it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same for me, and it took me probably 4 or 5 years to get that back.
Wow. So Matt, what actually took you from Venice all the way to Utah?
Utah.
That's a goddamn motorcycle.
Utah.
The motorcycle.
Well, they do have motorcycles in California.
My type of motorcycle riding was like racing on the racetrack.
Okay.
And I was doing that a lot. So when I did get around to getting to Utah, and Kate decided to, I got a call from people back here. I don't know if it was Jimmy or Kyle, but they called to get permission from me. This lady, Kate, wants to talk to you about roller skating. I'm like, what? Really? And I'm kind of like, yeah, just blew it off. And then when she did call, she called me sitting at home, frustrated, upset. I'm in an area where I really don't want to be. I mean, snow is cool, but don't ever live in it. And I found out, Utah is a good visiting state where everybody want to come do their 3 days and they fly home. But I had to get up and shovel this shit every morning. The whole world is one color. A white Christmas, I finally saw it. Now, so when she said, well, I'm going to come to Utah and interview you on the documentary. I'm just thinking, here comes somebody else wants to get famous. But, you had people from Solid Gold come out there. You had people coming basically to Venice to interview, to get themselves in the car somewhere, but they would use this phenomenon that jumped off out there and all these people in one spot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a rush of, you know something? I need to get something to eat. I looked around, looking at everybody having fun. I just turned off the music. Everybody stopped like robots. Where you going? I'm going home. I need to get something to eat. So why are you taking the music? It's mine. Right after that, I had burgers coming from everywhere. I mean, the food was like, whatever you do not let this man leave with that radio.
Yeah.
And sodas and water. And the guy from Solid Gold, he just say, look, what's it gonna take for me to get this? You couldn't do no filming out there because everybody sent everybody to me to film something. I didn't see no problem with it. We was out there having fun, and back then cameras and stuff and show business really wasn't all that popular back then. We just out, the sun is 80, 90 degrees, everybody having fun. So I'm costing, well, what's it gonna cost me to I said, we'll tell you what, all you gotta do is go get 4 or 5 cases of soda with ice and cups. And basically let everybody have a freelance. That's all it's gonna take. I went, yeah. And here it comes. What's this? I say, hey, freelance drinking. You guys can have fun.
Yeah.
It came from there. So anytime somebody wanted to film something, this is what they had to do was basically take care of the thirst that was out there. Because like I said, you didn't want to leave the area because you might miss your song. This was the roller skating problem. So the people that was there, they stood around just as long as we was out there.
Yeah.
And they was little, and next thing you know, they went and got them some skate, and it just got packed to a point where we had to form lines in front of each other and then just back up like this.
Yeah.
People back.
Wow.
And then I got to the point where I started threatening people. Anybody get on this sidewalk that don't belong on here, don't let me catch you. You ain't gonna like the results. Pay attention to that. So I would skate around, and anybody that I came across, I didn't care who it was. That ass was mine. Right there in front of everybody.
Wow.
I didn't have a limit on age. Look, lady, this your kid. You better get it. Because if I come back around here and it kept throwing dirt up on the where we were skating at. I just grabbed it and threw it back into the audience. And she came over, making all that noise, one shot to the chest, bam, she fell. She woke up on the same subject. Hey, y'all better get this. So I said, go get your daddy so I can have something to do. And that's the way it was. People thought that was very mean. I said, it ain't mean. You ain't got to worry about that no more. So when people saw what was going around, then nobody really bothered with the fact that nobody got in the way. They stood around and they looked. You could see some of the guys, they filmed it. I really didn't get into all that stuff there. So if they did come out with a camera or didn't have cell phone with cameras on them, then they had the video camera, real big thing on your shoulder. And I would see that and I would stop. Everybody wanted to learn what was I doing, and I would see them looking. I would do just enough, then I would stop. And one guy said to me, his name was Lawrence. He's like, how long you gonna take me to get your move? I'm gonna get them. I just looked at it.
Wow.
And I left it alone.
So I'm out there scouting. There was a portion of the movie where you were saying that Hollywood actually was approaching you guys, and they
wanted to use your footwork, but not your face.
But not you.
They wanted to cut me off halfway in Roller Boogie, Skate Town, USA, when Linda Blair was like the hottest thing, and they had over there where she were, it was a liquor store right there on the corner of Speedway and Women. And back in the day, it was phone booth. And they had a phone booth, and then they just took Roller Boogie and made Venice white. I mean, all the black people out there roller skating, they didn't grab none of them. They had this one black guy in the whole movie with these headphones on this big and these skin tight white pants on with his skates tied all the way up to his knees almost. You can't skate like with toe stops on this big. I don't need to be watching this. This is bullshit. And when people would come and say, where's the Sidewalk Cafe? I say, it is right there. That's not the sidewalk. Look, don't argue with me. There's a name at the Sidewalk Cafe. And this was people would see that movie and they would come to Venice and they wouldn't see the same thing. And they got out there, they saw mixed races out there, and yeah, a lot of them didn't like it, so a lot of them basically it made Venice a tourist attraction. And I just looked at it as things are starting to change. The music starting to change. When I decided to go to my first trip was when I went to Canada, and when I came back, Rapid Delight was the hottest thing on the charts. I ain't heard nothing about this song because over there it takes like 2 years for that to travel over there. So when I came back, the first rap song was Rapid Delight. I was like, Sugar Hill, who the hell is this? Man, everybody is playing Rapid Delight. Did I ever like it? No, I did not. But it was something that was coming of age in the 80s, and everybody jumped on it. So when I'm in Canada, I had no idea that they were so serious about not working. I had on a smock. I got arrested. I had a tool in my hand. I got arrested. I was helping somebody. I got arrested.
Wow.
And then what part of not working did you understand? I say I wasn't working. You say to us you were. And then finally I got the whole deal on why I was such a target, because in Canada back in those days, blacks stood out like the thumb was this big. And the person that I was with told me, whatever you do not leave this building. Hard-headed, really. All right. I go out and I come back, and can I ask you something? I'm like, what? Where's the black people at? It ain't none. Like, what do you mean enough? She said it ain't the only blacks that show up is the ones that come in on the Navy boats. All right. Wow. So now I'm limited to situation. And then Kate came along, and then she did the interview in Utah, and she came back. My problem with Kate was with that whole thing, like Terrell was saying, she took me too far back. I mean, to be born into that stuff and brought up in it, and to actually see it and don't hear about it. Oh yeah, she took me on streets of Wilmington to Alameda in the heart of Watts, where it was anything that was dark got put in that area. Compton was white. Long Beach was white. And in my area, you came out, you got arrested. Frustration and lack of employment and fights, and it was something that basically you had to basically sit there and see it. People can sit there, oh my God, I had no idea. You know how many times I done heard, oh my God, I had no idea. Oh man, that's fucked up. Oh dude, you know something? All my life, that's all I've been hearing is, what are you going to do about it? Nothing, but you complaining. Shut up.
Yeah.
My attitude was, where I came from, I always said to myself, it's got to get better than this. And I just told myself, I'm not taking shit from nobody. Whoever don't like it, they finna like it, because I am not going to sit there and go walk away. Everybody telling me you need to be cool, walk away, this and that. Where I came from, when you walk away, you give your enemy one step forward, it's going to chase you. Best thing to do, catch it while it's talking, lay it out. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Wake his ass up, to go in his pocket, pay yourself for that ass whoop you just put. It is. How much is this? It's $20. But it I've been talking shit. Don't talk a game. Let me see the game. And Kate took me in Watts. She said, I want to go to the first house where you went to school at. I said, I don't think you want to do that. And a lot of the things there where I didn't eventually go to, I mean, it was a very emotional situation for me, because a lot of times we couldn't film because I said, I can't do this. I said, you guys stay right here. I'll be back. I went to the corner and I let my emotions go. Then I came back. I said, we need to leave. Went to the Watch Tower. They totally changed that whole tourist attraction. Take this bottle. All right. Left it alone. So we walking around out there. I'm trying to stay focused, but she got me in an area where I'm in ass kicking mode now. I'm zero tolerance. She got me in there where now is my front door, not my back door. And she looking at me, hey, are you okay? I'm looking at her and trying not to see, you're white. And every black person over there, man, what them honkies doing over here? I say, look, guys, don't worry about that. Hey, I got this. And you guys are lucky. You don't get white people over here. Like, don't worry about it, just keep shooting. So half the things that went on over there at the house where I first got arrested in, because back then you look at things like the white family goes to Europe, they find out they left town, now the whole world is on them because they left their kids at home. Shit, my mom did that all the time. So when I got ready to go to school, I went to school in the morning. When I came home, my mom had moved, and I went into my house. So they arrested me. You're about 6, 7 years old, and I get arrested for murder. They didn't charge me with nothing, but it was just the fact that she didn't tell the school didn't find out. I come home, I was living there in the morning, but when I came home, I was in jail. So she came to the station and got me. She thought it was funny, and I didn't think it was. As I got older, I didn't think it was funny. So going through all this torture, and then when I finally get to Hollywood, then I get to Venice, and I see the same thing is following me. Here it comes. I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to have fun. Roller skating. How could you get in trouble roller skating? Well, ask me. I can tell you. I got in trouble.
Amplified music.
Yeah,
Amplified music and being too big in an area where I was a threat. I was actually a threat and didn't bother nobody.
Yep.
So, and then when people looked at that, everybody would say, man, that's fucked up.
Wow.
So when I go to a job, I'm not there to please you, make you feel better. I'm there to do what I need to do. You know, how come you never smile? I hear that shit. So how come you never smile? Give me a reason. I would say to people, give me a reason, and don't give me that you breathing shit neither. God loves you. Don't give me that stuff because where I came from, God was talked about, but it didn't exist because whatever God was supposed to stop, it didn't happen over there because I was the one that went through that experience. So when it came down to the documentary thing being showed, my emotionals, looking at that thing and going back, and I got caught. What people never seen, they saw it that day. I mean, when it got to the stage part, they gave me the microphone. I had to give it to the people next to me because I couldn't. I couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, you got my ass on that one because I was not expecting that sitting up in that dark theater, and it was packed too.
Yeah, it was packed. And, and in front of everybody, I just gave the mic to the person next to him. I didn't say one word. I couldn't say nothing.
So at that time, I mean, what you were obviously you're in a point in your life that you wanted to tell the story, but you were so open and so raw and willing to give her everything at that point. So what brought you to that point that you were just that open?
She asked me.
Okay.
If you wouldn't have asked me, it would have never happened.
Hey, good answer.
I didn't volunteer to go over there. She said, anything that she wanted on film, she said, could you take me there?
Okay.
Yeah. I went on a motorcycle. I didn't get in the car with. I went on my bike, and I would point out the house, the apartment, the other house. Where this person got killed at. This is 1965. I was here, and the Watts riot started. We lived right there, and what I saw after the riot, you guys had to basically see it to believe it. So I look at this virus thing, and I just look at everybody and go, "Shit, this my past coming back up all over again."
Yeah.
Because quarantine was in the house at 8, shoot you at 10.
Okay.
But then they bullshitting these people about stay in order. Like you go outside, everybody, white people is not willing to be told what to do. Black people is like, that ain't no big deal to me. It's like men in jail. That's what it is. You can't go nowhere. If you do go somewhere, it's like, oh, damn, I should have stayed at home. It makes you stay at home because you can't go to the store, you can't go to the mall, you can't go to a park, you can't even stop and sit down, you can't watch traffic, you can't deal with homeless. Damn, is there something? Let me go back to the house. So 1965, I'm looking at it and trying not to say, well, those people are different from those people, and I'm not going to sit there just because you're white and take it out on you because of what somebody like you did.
Yeah.
So I had to be reasonable like that, even though I'm a threat to society because of what they judge me before they see me, because you look at the name and go, damn, why is he looking like that?
Yeah.
This is what you walk up on. And then if I walked up to you and you looked at me and I was basically make an eye contact, the moment you tilt just a little bit, I would step back from you.
Wow.
You can rub me the wrong way just that fast because you don't want to you already didn't judge me, and basically now you got a fear. Wow. And never then, as a person get to know me, all of a sudden they step forward. By then, I could give a good goddamn. But gotta have other people.
Mad be tricky.
Have other people come in and talk to me about the age. The person was, don't make excuses. Everybody got one. I don't want to hear it.
Mad be tricking y'all though. If you keep it real with Mad and ain't on no bull, then he ain't gonna do nothing to you. He cool with you. It's the people that be faking or want something or trying to get something for no reason that he's like that with. He was never like that with me because he knew what I wanted. I wanted to learn how to skate. I'm gonna put in the work. We're gonna have some fun. And we're gonna go from there.
Wow.
And it's simple.
Now, there's a period of time where Mad, in the documentary, you had stepped away from skating. During that period of time, Terrell, what were you doing? Were you still skating? Were you traveling?
I was doing a lot actually. So at that point, my daughter, about 98, my daughter was 8 and my son was 1. So I had son and daughter that were 8 and 1. I was touring as a skater and as a dancer. So I was in town for 6 weeks, play with my kids. I try to coach her basketball team if I could. Then I was out of town for 2 weeks, out of town for 3 weeks, out of town for a week, China, whatever, Japan. I mean, we were touring like 4 or 5 times. Well, if you count skating and dancing, we're touring like 6 to 8 times a year.
Wow.
2 different companies, one company out of New York and then just regular jobs in LA. And then I was also doing commercials. So I'm trying to feed 2 kids without working a 9 to 5 because you can't work a 9 to 5 and tell them, oh yeah, I'm gonna be gone for 3 weeks.
Right.
I'm back, but I'm gonna be gone for another 4 weeks in 2 months. Like you can't have a job like that. So then at that point, it was like, well, I'm gonna have to skate and dance enough to feed the kids, and I'm gonna have to get a couple of commercials in the middle of all that to, so we, because both of them had asthma, both of them wanted to play on basketball teams, and Morgan plays softball, Brendan played. So it was like, I'm spending a lot of money, so I better have some money to feed.
Yeah. So right now, you guys are both married with kids. Is that correct to say?
I have a new kid.
Okay, congratulations.
This month.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you need some more commercials. Y'all listening?
I write more now, so I'm trying to. Mad ain't got time for all that. He wasn't trying to have no kids. Okay. Mad told me that I got stuck. I was supposed to
stick and move, not stick and get stuck.
So I wasn't having no kids, but once I did, you got to work at that point.
Yeah. So I'm gonna name off some of the names that were in the documentary, and just give us a little quick blurb about them. Okay. So we have Miss Sarah. So give us a little quick blurb about her.
I'm gonna need that one for Mad.
Sally.
Sally.
Oh, Sally.
Yes,
Sally.
Sally came on the scene. She came out there and she looked like everybody else did that stood there, and eyes this big, because everybody was freelance doing exactly what they want to do. Wasn't nobody really falling. Matter of fact, if anybody fell out there, it was like you dropped a glass and everybody, and then you got up and kept going. Whatever you do, don't stop, just keep going.
Yeah.
And when she came out there, she played piano on the beach. I didn't know who the hell she was. Matter of fact, a lot of people came out there. My mind was just stuck on 2 things: Terrell, Tammy, and Larry. and everybody else. Then there was Gino, there was Charlie, and then there was Jerry, and everybody else. Like they decided to just pop up, and I'm like, who is that? I just kind of kept my distance away from them, even though everybody else was friendly with everybody, but I really wasn't. Sally came out there, and she was talking to a bunch of people. Then she wound up getting around to me, talking to other people. Like I said, everybody was sending everybody to me. And I was saying one thing, where your skates? I don't have none. I got nothing to say to you. Like, I have to get some skates. I said, yeah. I said, this conversation is over with. You're nerve wracking. And I left. She went and got some skates and she came back. She said, I got some skates. I said, why are you holding them? Then put them on. Then when I told her she had to take her toe stops off, that's when the whole world became very important. What? I got to skate with. Look around you. Nobody has on toe stops.
Yeah.
They're getting in the way. You want me to teach you how to skate? I'll teach you how to skate without you use your body for anything that you want to do. That's your balance.
There you go.
And roller skating, let me give you an idea. Roller skating is off balance. Only thing you try to do is keep from falling. Fall into a move, you'll slip into a move, but I guarantee you ain't gonna fall like that again. So this is how Sally came into the picture. And very young. I think I was 24 when I first came out there in 1980. My birthday hadn't showed up in May yet, so it would make me 25, so I was 24. And I was the oldest thing out there on skates. I really didn't think about 24. Really didn't think about 30. Didn't think about 35. Didn't think about 40 until everybody keep reminding me of my registration. Leave it alone. Let me have fun. So taught her everything, and then for some reason she decided to do a tour. She went overseas and got run over by some car.
Yeah.
She came back here on crutches. Thought I would be, oh my God, what happened? And I looked at her and I'm like, what happened? She got hit by a car. What got hit by a car? My knee. I turned around and walked away, didn't speak to her for about maybe 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
She was useless.
Wow.
Have you spoke with her since?
Huh?
Have you spoke with her since?
I never did tell her why I did it, because I was basically back then yes and no. If you're going to mess up the program, there's one thing I can say about Terrell, it never was no. Whatever it was, he jumped on it. He could be in the middle of learning how to fly, drop that, go that, then go back to flying. And that's the way it was. So when she basically, I know from roller skating history and body language, you're gonna need all your knees, your ankles and your hip.
Yeah.
This is how this thing works. Even though you got them and you walk around with them every day, you don't give it any thought. But you're gonna need your hip, your knees, and your ankles. And roller skating, because you're moving constantly side to side, and the guide thing is north, south, east, and west, and all that stuff in the middle. You're finna do all that, because when you twist, you're gonna get off balance. You better know exactly what to do to keep that next move from happening. So when she told me her knee, I turned around and walked away, and she became a bad taste of air.
Wow.
You can taste the air. Man, something wrong with it. I can taste this air. I ain't got nothing to say to her. And every day she came out there trying to get something, get me to acknowledge her. I would. I took that very personal.
Wow.
Because what I needed with her, it got taken away from me. Everything that, from the documentary to roller skating to the past, and when it comes all the way up to now, everything was taken away from me. It didn't fade away. It was taken. I never got a chance to complete.
Wow.
And had Sally not gone to...
She's not gone. And right to this day, she still have that feeling of back then, and she would tell me every time she see me, I'm doing better, I'm doing better. Really? All right, let me see it. She would do it, and then I say, you know something? You protected your knee, and you don't see it, you don't feel it, but I do. You ain't got to prove nothing to me, because if you had it, I would see it when you go to the right. Everything is cool to the left, but when you go to the right, you're protecting that knee. And when you're going to understand, you don't have it.
Wow.
Leave
Wow.
me alone.
Hmm.
And she never did leave me alone. She basically would find some type of way to get in touch with me, to talk to me. Hey, how you doing? It's been a long time. But the roller skating rink over here in Cerritos, what? Cerritos? Girl, please. I'm not going to no roller skating.
Wow.
So her knee, accident, and what I wanted from her, it was taken away, and I left her alone.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dream
deep.
deferred.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we have Mr. Larry Pitts.
Oh man. Larry was a guy you had to have some serious understanding about. Larry's from Ghost Town, which was Shoreline Crip. He never was. It was Larry and Glenn. Larry and Glenn used to come out there and stand around roller skating. They never did skate. They just stood. They put the skates on and they didn't move because, like I said, didn't nobody know anything. It just they put them on just to be a part of that scene.
Okay.
And then Larry said to me, something I'll never forget, and it's been years, it's been over 15 years. Larry said this to me, man, me and Glenn been working on a move. Yeah. Called The Drunk. It's called what? He says it's called The Drunk. Let me see how it goes. He said, we gonna show you. So they went through the motion going back and forth. They doing the line dance, and then they did this move, and I can do nothing but just start laughing. And every once in a while, I would use it. I would take no matter what it was out there, and I would put it into that line. If it was gay, I'll put it in there. You're gonna do it, and everybody's gonna laugh. You know, that ain't your world, but the gay thing would seem to be a situation of you had to hide or you got beat up. So we did a move, Buffalo Gals, so we do female thing in there. Then you got the big kitty woman, a lot of chicks on there. I think that, look, I don't give a damn about your tits being way out there. Woman, you got everybody see them. So what the fuck is the big deal? We are men. Big kitty woman. Damn, John Travolta. You did it all. You know, I'll watch a movie and I'll look at it and I'll come up with a move. Then I'll go, Terrell, come here. Check this out. Then I had to put 3, 4, 5, and 6 of them together. So making every move is a single. Then I had to make a routine. I got tired of calling singles. But if I didn't like you, well, you called hell. And Terrell and Larry and Jimmy, they would be next to me. And Terrell would say, man, I don't like that person there. They ain't going to be around that long. I start calling singles, so I know they can't do. And the line dance basically was created basically from things that I saw out there, the history mark of the world, of how the world was treating people. I just made everybody see exactly what they thought was bad, and it really wasn't. Even though nobody ever said, hey, do that, do that, do that. When a certain song came on, everybody lined up. And they had to get in a position. And if you didn't know what you were doing, you couldn't get next to somebody that knew what they were doing because they would speak out real fast.
Wow.
And I would hear that. I just would put a little grin on my face, like, I thought you couldn't speak up. Man, you ever seen this person? All right, never mind.
Wow.
To this day, I can't have Jimmy skate to the right of me.
No. Jimmy Ridge has a style of clumsiness. If you looked at Jimmy, you don't know which way the wind is blowing.
You know, it's funny. There's people in the ring now like that.
What is he doing?
It's organized confusion.
Where's the technique? He'll fall on the ground and he'll go into a circle. Okay, think about what he's doing, then he'll get up. And then he looked like Jimmy, the only person that made room for himself. Nobody else did anything. Jimmy made his own room. When they saw him, everybody got out the way.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that is hilarious.
Yep.
That is hilarious. So, and now we have the, unfortunately, he's no longer here, but Mr. Duval. He was a very intricate person.
He was. He came out there with skinny, this processed hair, looking like something that basically, where did the world of this come from? Skinny with these outfits. Then he come out there with a Superman thing on. He came out there looking like Prince. He came out there looking like, man, who is this dude? Lips everywhere, teeth all over the place. And I really never really talked to him. I looked at him, and that is something that I'm going to stay away from. Everybody else got to know him. He was a nightmare to me. And then when he started roller skating, it was the awkwardest thing I could ever see. And I'm looking at him. Everybody got their own style.
Yeah.
Me and Larry used to like look at him when we do single and everybody get out in the middle. He'll start doing something and we'll just look at him. I just looked at him and I didn't have no comment. And then all of a sudden he started doing the crazy legs and me and Larry just made the comment. He done cracked over everything down there. And that was Duval to me because I really didn't pay attention to have a conversation with none of those people out there. Like I said, the only singles that I really had I noticed what they did, how they did it, and when they came out there. But as far as talking to them like I would talk to Terrell and Larry, I didn't do that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I thought he was gay when I first, because like you said, the processed hair, he would wear cowboy boots, and Brothers wasn't really wearing cowboy boots. You know,
and when Ringling Brothers showed up, that was him.
He ended up getting married and having kids. I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong on this.
I didn't even know that. He never came out there with nobody.
Oh wow!
Yeah, exactly.
So he actually had kids. Wow. Oh wow! So when
like
he
Michael Jackson.
not Michael Jackson. So when he passed away, was there like did it feel like something was missing?
Well, when I went to the funeral because his daughters were real cool. He'd bring the daughters out, and so you start seeing kids, you get to know them.
Yeah.
And I had kids their age, so it was kind of sad on that part. I made a mix for him. I made a couple of DJ mixes for us to skate to in his honor. And then we had a day where we all wore. He was a good cartoonist, and so we had a day where we all wore shirts that he designed because he would have comic book heroes. He would have we were the bad boys, so he made these bad boy t-shirts for us. So everybody wore something that he designed.
Nice.
It was cool. It was real nice.
Nice. Wow.
But although that was a note for Brothers to get their health care taken care of because he passed away from something that he was not supposed to pass away from.
Got you.
And it was only Brothers
I saw him the day we did an interview in Santa Monica, and I looked at him and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with him? Because he's already messed up back then, but he was more messed up this time.
Yeah.
When I looked at him, we talking, and Sally was there. They had interviewed me. Took too long because, like I said, this emotional shit started showing up. And then he went on, and then Sally went on. Then he was standing outside the recording area. He was talking to me, and I'm looking at him. First time I ever had a conversation with this man, standing next to me, and I'm kind of like, all right, I guess this is not as bad as I thought it was. He's pretty nice too. I mean, I knew he worked for Hanna-Barbera, drawing cartoons and stuff. Right. I was watching the cartoon that he was drawing. And I never knew. I actually had the Transformer dude right here the whole time.
Wow.
And all the cartoons that I was watching, he was the one that designed them.
Wow.
And I never did, I just kind of left it alone. The next thing I know, a couple of days later, they tell me he passed away. I went, what? I was just talking to him at the recording thing. Well, he ain't here no more. I said, all right. I just shut up on it. So let me leave that alone. He's gone. And whatever I need to say, it really ain't gonna matter because you can't hear it. And I'm not gonna get there and tell everybody how great he was because that'll be me stretching something that I don't know nothing about. So I just kind of like left it alone. I saw him. I knew what he did when he was out there. But as far as anything that was off the beach, I didn't know nothing about his world.
Yeah.
He didn't go to skating rinks, and if he did go, I didn't really spot him in there. And he just basically, everybody came to the beach. I met everybody at the beach. Then I had my world outside the beach where I needed entertainment because I'm a night owl. Everything about me is all about I'm not going to sleep at 12 o'clock. I'm up. I need to go do something. And as the world went on and on and on, things started to change. And here's a person that can really look at it and go, it's not the same. My world is leaving. I got to accept that. What it used to be, everything is changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
kept
that was kind of hard for me to accept that. So when it came down to Venice and leaving the beach, I would look back at that in my mind and stand on that windward, on that Market Street boardwalk and look back towards the beach and say goodbye.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never, outside of Venice, there were only 4 people I saw: Mad, Jimmy, Kyle, and D. D got there later on, and but in the '80s up until probably the late '90s, maybe even the 2000s, it was Mad, Kyle, Jimmy, and D were the only people who I'd actually been to their house, or we've been outside of Venice, or something like that. Everybody else, even when I had my new girlfriend, she's like, "Well, you've been skating 30-some years. How come you never go out with them?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got friends for going out. Those are my going out friends.
Yeah.
And these are skating friends."
Yeah.
And if you weren't one of the original 4 or 5, then I was cool with you, but it was just that's not my crew.
Yeah. 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 Well, real quick, before we get out of here, as I see Matt had his, I guess, kind of child
Yeah,
jump in the picture.
his baby jumped in the picture. Your baby jumped in the picture.
And then you
Not
you
a
have
lot.
your
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I just did like this here. She went clam right underneath.
yeah.
That's her spot.
We have
This
the
dude woke
lovely,
up from his nap and decided he was going to come and touch everything.
Hey, that's
very
what they
handsome little
do.
fella. So
Yeah.
if you guys could go back and change one thing, is there anything that you guys would change?
You know what? I might have tried to make the popular. I might have tried to commercialize it more, and this is what I mean by that. Me and Matt were very much about it ain't for money; it's about just having the fun. But had we maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, but had we commercialized it more and made it bigger, maybe then we would have had more control over how things went, as far as not getting the place torn up. Or if it did get torn up, maybe we would have some say so in how it was rebuilt. Or maybe we would get something just for us with our name on it so that we could have music when we wanted.
Yeah.
And that way we would have had less, maybe we would have had less cops. But then again, cops, even when you do things right, they still mess with you. So it ain't no that would have worked. But maybe I would have tried to commercialize it a little more so that it could have been like how Central Park, you can still do stuff. I mean, you can still do stuff in Venice, but it don't seem like Central Park from the people I've met. And when I've been there, they don't have the problems that we had, or they didn't have the problems that we had.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Matt?
What would I change? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Because whatever came out of that, it just made me the person that I am. And like I said, because if I got to change that, I mean, I got to go way back and start from there. And then, because like I said, what was over there, it followed me. I didn't ask for it. It just came. And they targeted me, and I just had it up to the eyebrows with it. So I wasn't going to back down. You might be the police officer, but fuck you, dude. We're not doing anything. You going to arrest me? Oh, yeah, they're going to prove a point. I go to jail.
Yeah.
And then when the court system finally had enough of it, wait a minute, amplified music, did you have like concert stuff? No, so one judge wanted to see the radio. And she asked the police, where's the radio? He's like, it's in storage. You mean at the station with, no, it's in Van Nuys. In Van Nuys, said, yeah, we don't have enough room, so we put it over there. So, but somewhere in that day, before the court closed, they wanted that radio in that courtroom. So they went and got it and brought it, and they didn't know how to work it. And they say, well, I think it might be dead. I don't think so. So can you turn it on? The cassette was still in it. So I turned it on. and playing it, and you say, play it about how loud you would have it on. All right, I'll turn it up to about 3 knocks, and like, that's it. So said to the police officer, the judge said, so what is that? He said, I have no idea. It's amplified music. So she asked me, what is that? I said, it's a car stereo. Mm-hmm. Like, you mean a car stereo? I said, the same stereo that's in my car. That's what that is. So she turned back to the police officer and said, so you mean to tell me this is amplified music? She said, yes, it is. But I had the same thing in my car. I mean, this conversation, I'm sitting at the table. So it ain't all about me no more. It's all about him trying to say, this is amplified music. And she's trying to say, it's a car stereo. Same one in my car. So in other words, if you pulled up next to me and told me to turn my radio down and I didn't, would you arrest me? Well, you'd been no. If you didn't know I was the judge, would you arrest me? You hear rap this on cop. He didn't answer. So she said, Mr., your case is dismissed and do not do this again. I didn't get the radio back, but
she probably put it in her car.
I know, right?
Basically, I made another one, another design, a little louder, last as long. I had a van back then, and everything was cool. But the 3 times that I did go to the courtroom, a lot of times you get arrested, because back then they had the GP arrest, and that was general purposes. They could arrest you and assume you stole that bottle of Arrowhead water, and you didn't. So they would keep you in jail for 3 days, only on the weekend. Friday, you get out on Monday.
Yeah.
What the deal is. So my job was not to argue with them, just go along with the program, accept what it is, and eventually it'll go away. It's going to happen again and again and again. Why? Because you are a target. You don't know how to function with other people. What am I supposed to do? Kiss people's ass just to say, even if I do say hi, which is not in my book, I'm not going to speak to you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a Hitler in a minute. If you, man, what's that? I say, that's Hitler, homie. Black people have the way up. What's up, dude? White people, you have, hey, what's going on? And now they want to do it up, man. That ain't your world. Leave it alone. I know all the handshake. Give me the white man shake. What's that? You white and you don't know? Would I change something? No, because what happened back then, it just basically made you absolutely think that what happened over there, it would just happen. But then when you go over there, it's the same thing. It's following you. You just look at it. I can't change one thing without changing something else.
Right.
It's very depressing to me. I get to those moments where I'm around the house or I'm out in the garage and I just have what you call that laid back thought of, when is it going to leave me alone? My past is my present.
Right.
Because it won't leave me alone. I look at the nightmares of Venice, and how in the hell did I get out of that?
Yeah.
I look at Watts, how in the hell did I get out of that? Out of 19 cousins, it ain't but 4 or 5 of them still alive. Matter of fact, it ain't but 4.
Wow.
The rest of them are all gone. So far as the males are concerned, yes, me and my aunt, 2 other sons, because all the rest of them, they gone. And I'm just say to myself, how the hell did I get out of there? My nightmare of Venice, Hollywood, I'm being picked on because look at this. I'm a threat.
Yeah.
I just got to stand there. And then I went to CVS. This was last week. I got on a mask, beanie, got all this stuff standing in the middle of the store. And some guy asked me, can I help you? I went, I'll be damned. I'm dressed to rob the place. And he asked me, can I help you? I'm like, no, man, I'm cool. I got arrested for shit. Like, they thought I had it on and I went to jail. But now, if you didn't have it on, hey, excuse me, how come you ain't dressed? What you talking about? You need a mask and a hood on and some gloves and stuff. Really? So you look at that stuff and you get a good laugh and you get a good chuckle. And I just say, nobody is serious about this shit. So it's all about going through that futuristic stuff and looking at it, looking at my past. I stopped at 1965 when the Watts riot started. And I'm looking at this virus. Everybody's talking about, I need a job. I'm losing my job. I need to eat. My business is closed. I need to open it back up. Nobody's there. It's all about what you need, but not what the world is looking at. Got a virus, homie. It don't give a flying fuck. I'm trying to make everybody understand one thing. No matter how much money you got, how much fame you got, everybody is the same now.
Yeah.
The money cannot buy you what you think you need. Oh, I'm put a couple $100,000 out there. Let me go get this virus check. And your money don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So as far as movies and everything else, would I change something? No. I just basically just dealing with the times that comes up.
Yeah.
And right now, sitting at home on this first time I'm using this laptop here. I got shit that's still wrapped up from 5 years ago. I'll be damn, look what I found. Now I'm back to doing my totally bored situation, playing solitary.
You the king of toys, though.
I got toys for days.
Do you?
I got toys for days. I got my motorcycle out there. I got a couple other bikes if I want to basically get on them and go somewhere. Like I said, there's nowhere to go. And I got into motorcycle racing, and the only problem with that was I was too big. I would basically get into the runnings between 1 and 10, get up to 3. The motor was seized because it couldn't pull the weight. And everybody else basically on the track is like 140 to 150 pounds.
Wow.
And somebody almost back then, if you on that video you guys saw in the documentary, I was about 180.
Okay.
So when everybody looked up and people come over here and look at these pictures I got on the wall, man, is that you? No, that's somebody else. I decided to take a picture, put his ass in my house. Yeah, that's me. God damn, what year was this? Those 80s and those 90s. Holy shit. So when people saw the documentaries, the ones that didn't really was out there when that stuff was jumping off, everybody had a thought of sorrow, happiness, and holy shit, we had no idea. Even the ones that was there when he was doing the damage, they would say to me something I don't want to hear. I had no idea. We had no idea they was doing that. And you were looking right at it. Yeah, we know, but we didn't know they was doing it like that.
Yeah.
You know something? You need to go talk to him over there. I'm gone.
Go talk to Terrell.
This is a nightmare to me. It's like bringing back my past is something I don't want to be involved in. I don't want to try to remember none of that. I want to take the good when it was good and leave it back there. So when Kate and them came up to me with the documentary and she said, not even give it any thought. Well, we want to go back to when you was little. And I looked at her. I said, no, you don't. She said, why not? I said, trust me, you don't. You don't need me to, because, you know, she is new to the program. She was one of them foreign countries over there. And I didn't want to be no rowdy, Rudy person about, you know, calling her a bunch of names. And, you know, you got the camera crew and then all my buddies would come over here. They'll see the camera. And you got your own camera crew?
Yeah.
They following you around. And they're like, so how do I get on the interview? I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with this. This is some shit happened down at the beach, and they decided to find me and you know, stay in my house with all the lights and shit when people come over. They standing there, I'll be damned. And this is a real interview. This is how we get a chance. So I didn't tell anybody. My whole family found out about the documentary, and my phone was ringing. We were going through this, and we saw you. It was like, holy shit, he's famous. So all of Lancaster, Pasadena, now Lancaster, Palmdale is in on want to talk to me. And then my buddies come over. Dude, how come you didn't tell me that, dude, you famous now? I said, look, man, y'all can call it what y'all want. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying anything. Y'all watched it. I didn't even ask them if they liked it or not. Because I look at it as, people look at it as it's supposed to be a joyful, educational thing. It's pain to me. because it took me too far back, and it fucked with me, and I haven't got over it because it brought up things where you had to be a hell of a motherfucker to get out of that thing.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
the success that I have right now, and looking back at that, far as family, far as how society, and you could have been killed at any moment, you've been arrested. So I just took jail as maybe they did me a favor by keeping me from going forward. I already know what's behind me, but if I would have kept going, probably wouldn't be here. So I just took the bad points of it and made it a good point. Maybe he stopped me from getting killed by putting me in jail for something I didn't do, like trying to steal a fire truck on Christmas Eve. That's what they charged me with. And all my buddies right now, believe it or not, I can look at it and say, this is a criminal, but all my buddies, after the beach is all police officers.
Wow.
I'm in Steel Horses Motorcycle Club out of New York, another chapter. And half of New York PD is motorcycle club. And then you got half LAPD. So everybody comes over here, they're all cops. And here I am, president. I'm president of police officers that got to know me, that tell them, but hey, that right there, no, leave that alone. He's cool. He's our mechanic. And Culver City sheriffs, they don't make no difference. They all come over here and they'll see me and they'll wave. I'm like, what you doing? Here I am speeding and I don't get messed over because other police officers told other police officers about that dude right there. He might look like he's about to rob you, but he's the nicest guy you ever want to meet. Just go by that look and do not give him a reason to dislike you because he's born with one. He don't like nobody. He ain't gonna tell you, just look at you and he'll walk away.
Wow.
But would you
so
both
Terrell
agree?
hit me up with this Zoom thing, and I'm like, there's another one of these apps for a phone. Dude, do I look like I need to be on TV?
Well, we
like,
appreciate you doing it.
People at a radio station, they want to talk to all of us, get us all on one communication. Really. People on the radio station, they want to, and they supposed to use this thing to do it. So what I'm looking at on this app, these people are all up on the phone. This selfie thing ain't gonna work. But put it on your laptop. I'm like, right. So he hit me up today, right before this thing started. Hey, let me know when you're ready. I text him back and I'm like, look, I don't have that thing no more. I got rid of it. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna send it back to you in the process of da-da-da-da. So I asked Michelle, hey, you know how to do all this shit here because I type like this. What code you talking about? So she grabbed the phone and he's talking to her. Now his shit don't want to work. And then he already got it set up. Working. And I was finna leave. And she said, no, you can't leave because they finna come on any minute. So I got to sit here till they decide they want to turn this stuff on. And then about
no, that's him. He set the time. He set the time, so that's him.
He said 12:45 here, but it's way after 12:45. I'm like, all right. So she tells me you can't go nowhere because they finna come on. I'm like, really? All I'm looking at is a screen. So I said, all right. So I was about to say how long it's gonna take. Like she really knew. It's waiting on you guys. I would say in a minute they're gonna turn. They're gonna sign in. So I looked at it and I went, all right. So then all of a sudden, you guys come on, looking at the radio station, you look like you got right down the street.
Yeah, I wish.
Looking at the background outside, the two windows that you have.
That's the cityscape.
That show stuff back there.
Yeah, that's the city of Houston behind us.
Those are. That's
you know
the
how
city
people
of
like
Houston.
post up the beach and stuff, and they're in the middle of the city.
Well, we appreciate that you did wait on our technology and that
I had no idea about none of this.
Well, see, technology.
There you go. It's not all bad.
It's not all bad.
So we appreciate it. As a matter of fact, to me, it's kind of good because If Kate and them would have done this, I'd have been like, other words, work me into it. Don't just take me straight over and watch and go, we're going to film this.
Yeah.
So half the question they would ask me, I'm still stuck on stupid about. I kept telling myself, because I usually don't do things. I kept telling myself, do it, do it, do it. It's okay, it's okay. But the more and more I got into it, it wasn't okay because it took me somewhere I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told her, I said, look, I'm having issues with this. I said, I don't know you from the lady of Wonder Bread, and for you to basically get me to do these, ask me about these things you're doing, lady, you pushing the button.
Yeah.
He said, well, we got a lot of information on you, and I got to basically work my crew into seeing you for the first time and not getting scared. She would bring her cameraman in, and I would look at him. I'm very, I'm that type of person. It's all about action first and talking about it. I would tell all my buddies, hey, man, you're talking too much.
Yeah.
Don't call me over there to hear a conversation. You're talking too much. So when she would get the crew and she would come in, and I would look at them like, you owe me $40. To me, that's a normal look, but they looking like, why are you looking at me like that? And
Well,
she was like, just forget about it. Yeah, that's what everybody always do. You know, bullshit.
Well,
so the camera crew and everybody had taken me over there. Like I said, talking to you guys about this. This is,
different.
Therapy.
I gotta ask
Therapy,
what
he
you
said.
come.
Therapy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, when people come up to me talking about, well, you need a therapy, you need to talk about this. Look, if they're gonna sit there and ask me, I need to tell them, the fuck I need them for to do that. That ain't the number reminding me. I'm trying to relax myself into the situation. And well, what's going on with you and how do you feel about that? Yeah. That people say you talk about something, you're supposed to feel better. But it's not. It's to me, it's self-inflicted ass whooping. And my old lady, she looks at me, are you mad at me? No. Did I do something wrong? No. Are you? Because that's just the way I am. But in the whole time, my mind is on 103rd, on 92nd, on 87th. What I should have did, I didn't. So what I think about now is somebody do something and I listen to other people by just step back, walk away, breathe. Later on, I would tell myself, motherfucker got away with murder. I should have did something. I'm not into letting people walk away from, you threaten me, your ass is mine right there. If I don't like you, excuse me, keep your distance on me. I thought we were, no, we ain't friends. I didn't tell you that. Well, you did, no, I didn't tell you that. I'm not your friend. I said, I have some. And like I said, out of all the people on the beach that been into the roller skating, Gino, Charlie, Jimmy, Terrell, Larry, Tammy, any of the three people that basically know under any circumstances they got that person right there. That's Tammy, Terrell, and Larry.
That's what's up.
They bark. I ain't gonna ask who they barking at. I'm coming and I ain't asking questions.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's family right there.
So that's very personal to me.
Yeah.
Because everybody always used to joke, man, is that your son? Because Terrell started young and he basically took advantage of it. Tammy took advantage of it. The moment the slightest problem came up, man, if he couldn't get it done, and Terrell said something to me a long time ago that still have an effect on me, something that happened at the skating rink, and he said about how he don't like this person because of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard him say that, and out of all the people that I know, nobody ever brought up that skating rink accident and voiced their opinion on the people that loved so much but didn't show it that day. And he said, because he, like I said, a lot of times he couldn't go to the skating rink, and he never asked me to come get him. And he said if he would have been there, it would have been a problem. That would have never happened because it happened around all the people that basically would put you on a pedestal. But when it came down to it, nobody put up the defense to stop what happened.
That's how it is.
And when he said that, I never lost that thought at all. Back to this day, I still think about it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Hey, I gotta call it because I gotta get back to work.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no
we
problem.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we're actually about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know, we greatly appreciate you guys taking the time out.
Yeah.
Terrell, thank you so much for setting this up with us. Greatly appreciated. This is a story
If we
that
wouldn't
needs.
have done that, it would have never happened because anybody else would have came up with it. It would have been nope.
Well,
we're so glad that we came to him.
Very glad.
So everybody know exactly who to contact to get in touch with him. The people would try, it ain't gonna work. But then they're like, if he calls, damn, Terrell called him. Man, what's up? I'm gonna send you this link to people on DJ and stuff when they want to talk. Yeah, and I got talk to you later. All right. What am I supposed to do with this shit? Download it. All right.
Well, we're glad you accepted, and we're so honored that you spent this time with us because we're humbled that you are here and telling your story, even though it does cause wounds. We are just so ecstatic that we can share this with the skate community because a lot of people don't know and they need to know.
Yeah, they need to know.
You know, the story of Venice Beach.
I just don't want people to get the idea of thinking that, Venice is the reason why, basically, because we're not in their neighborhood. But in 1980, all you got to do is go 1980. You had a lot of people going to skate rinks. You had a lot of people skating on the streets. But far as roller dancing, people didn't do that. I went to skating rink. Everybody skated around backwards and forward, and that was it. You fell, you got up, and you was trying to do something with toe stops on. If you look at that area out there in 1980, I wasn't in Frisco, I wasn't in New York, I wasn't in Alabama, I wasn't in Minnesota. It started out there as nothing. Yeah. And then it became something, and everybody, I don't know if they picked it up from Venice. All I know is what I did was took something and had some fun with it. And I wanted to make it better than what it was. What's that? I need to make some music because this little transistor radio shit is not getting, I ain't feeling this. As soon as I got off work, I was in the house, and that's when they had Yoda's Emporium instead of Home Depot. And I went in there, got everything I needed, cut it out, measured it, and put it together. And then I had a bicycle, 3-wheel. It was the Mad Machine. And the box was on the back of it. Had a TV in the front and the box on the back. This stuff that they doing now, I did it back in the 80s.
You did.
Yeah. The stuff they doing now, they had no idea where the idea came from. It was done in the 80s. The box was built in the 80s. They didn't have boxes and subwoofers back then. You had a subwoofer, you had it in your house. You didn't have it in your car. It wasn't in your trunk. You had some speakers, some 3x8s, 6x8s in the back dashboard window, and that was it. You might have some in the door, but 6x9, then nobody wanted to do it because nobody wanted to put them in their car. But I decided to make the first box and took everything that was in the car and made it into a box and brought it to the beach. And that's how I met Kyle. He came out there with me with a tape and he said, "Hey, I got a song I want you to play." I didn't know this dude from Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwich back then. And I didn't like him anyway because he just said, "Can you play this song?" I put it on the top. Then I finally got around to it 15 songs later, and it was Cameo, Shake Your Pants. I liked it. I went, "Oh, shit, got going on." And then when the Gap Band came out, and when early in the morning first came out, the guy brought me the song. He said, "Man, I guarantee you're going to love this song." I'm like, "Yeah, no, dude, I'm serious. I guarantee you're going to love this song." And when he brought the song, I put it on, and the rooster came. Shit, it was on. I played that all day. The rest of this day, this man said he can't stand that song. I played it all day. Back to back.
That's why I couldn't stand it, because y'all played it all day.
So we're going to play Egypt for you. So just pipe down.
A lot of them came out there with new songs, and that's how a lot of people got there. Hammer started playing, selling records out of the back of his car. I started basically playing people saying, "Man, who is that?" Because I know.
Yeah.
I got it from him. This is something new. And then half the songs that came out back then, I had played it on the beach and didn't know who it was. All I know it was good. But I really wasn't socializing with nobody. But people would come up to me, hey man, that's this radio dude. Hey bro, got a song for you. You play this? What is it? This is so really. Only song that I was Two Live Crew. Hey, I didn't care nothing about no kid. Hey, I played it.
Hey, I got to give her back her computer until I figure out what to do with mine.
Well, we
Hey, man, I'm gonna
appreciate you
talk to you
guys.
soon.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we will
And thank
definitely
you
stay in
so
touch.
much.
Definitely stay in
All
touch,
right,
fellas.
talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.